Sir Keir Starmer. Good to see you. Thank you very much. Thank you. When you said Jeremy Corbyn would make a good Prime Minister, did you mean it?
Look, he would be a better Prime Minister. Well, look what we got, Boris Johnson. A man who made massive promises, didn't keep them, and then had to leave Parliament in disgrace.
I'm asking if you would confess to us tonight, even just a small amount of embarrassment, to be leading the Conservative Party into this election campaign.
When I first got this job, I stood on the steps of Downing Street and spoke to all of you as Prime Minister for the first time, and I acknowledged that. I said very clearly that mistakes had been made, and that's why I was standing there in front of you. In fact, you may remember I spent the summer before that arguing against the policies that my predecessor had suggested were right.
If national service is going to be compulsory, how will you make people do it?
Well, you'll have a set of sanctions and incentives, and we will look at the models that are existing around Europe to get the appropriate mix of those. There's a range of different options that exist.
For example?
There's all sorts of things that people do across Europe, whether that's looking at driving licences, other access to finance, all sorts of other things. The right thing to do is to allow...
Access to finance?
Yes.
So if people don't want to do national service, what, you're going to take their bank cards away?
No, there's access. there's lots of different models around Europe.
Aren't you going to bankrupt the country?
The answer is no. We put forward a very detailed costed manifesto, and it's got a big health and social care package at the centre, about £9 billion, and other things, for example, helping with free school meals with the costs of living. And we've shown how we'll pay for everything we've got in that.
Would you contemplate going to coalition again, given what happened last time?
I've been in politics a little while. I've seen a lot of Lib Dem leaders, and sometimes they focused on what happens after the election. And I've noticed that when they do that, they don't focus on the job in hand, which is trying to win local champions and Liberal Democrats across the country, and I'm going to try and do that.
There's only 2 other countries in the world that don't subscribe to the ECHR. Russia and Belarus.
Sir, with the greatest respect, we do not need a foreign court to tell us how to police our borders and our security, right? And I believe that everything we're doing is in compliance with our international obligations. But if I'm put in a position where I'm forced to choose between those things, I'm going to put our country's national security first every single time, and I make absolutely no apology about that.
Shame on you.